time to step the fuck up and be a man. I got sent an article today, which I'm not going to lie. It summarizes society at the moment. It summarizes where we are as a society, as a whole, and it irritated me no end. And it just seems like this is the world that we live in today. That the standard of what is good, what is acceptable, what is extreme, what is discipline, all these kinds of things has just plummeted. Like, absolutely plummeted through the floor. And you can see it in every area of what people consider acceptable health, what people consider acceptable effort, what people consider anything and everything. Like, you know, even down to what they are considering normal milestones for children to reach. You know, toddlers, babies, all this kind of stuff. They've lowered the standard. Not to, you know, because it was too high, because not enough children were reaching it. And it's the same in schools, it's the same in, you know, adults and all this kind of stuff. Instead of going, hey, what's going on in society? What are we doing here that means that there's been this drastic shift in what people find, like what milestones toddlers, children, adults are reaching? You know, why are we less developed? Why are we less fit? Why are we less healthy? Why are we less motivated? All these kinds of things. They're like, oh, well, if everybody's doing it, we'll just collectively lower the acceptable standard. And you see it in everything, that instead of addressing the issues that have arisen, we're like, oh no, we'll just lower the standard so that everybody meets it. No, you raise the bar and then you help those underneath it reach up for it. You raise the standard, or in this case, keep it the bare fucking minimum, and then help people reach it. We need to stop softening our society and actually push them forward to do the necessary work. And I think this is the problem. So this article was on Zone Zero, which is just a fucking joke. And it was the concept that, you know, you don't need to slog it out at the gym. Literally, this is what it says, to slog it out at the gym to get healthier and fitter. All you need to do is go for a casual stroll. And the friend who sent this to me knew that this would irritate me and rile me up. And what they were saying was that all you had to do was raise your number of steps per day. And this again is where I get really frustrated, because what they have taken is quite a sound and reasonable concept and twisted it to make you feel better about the low standards that you've set, the pathetic levels of effort that you are putting in. And they're like, so instead of going to the gym, what you can do instead is go for a walk. And what they were talking about, you know, one of the examples they used was that they found people who have better low intensity things recover better, aka the bog standard thing that has been there for, I don't know, at least as long as I've been training people, that we should get in at least 10,000 steps a day. They're like, well, if you go from 2,000 to 4,000, you will see an increase in, you know, health markers, which is true. But 2,000 steps is such a low bar. Like, that's fucking phenomenal how low that is as a standard. And this is the problem, that we've reached this point where you need to talk about, oh, well, just going for a stroll will drastically improve your markers. It's like all these things. It's like, if you can do 11 push-ups as a man, I think it's you reduce your likelihood of a heart attack by 55%. That's because most people can't even do any form of exercise. That just 11 push-ups pushes you out of this category and raises it up. It's not that it's good. It's not that that should be anything to crow about. It's just that, well, that's better than nothing. Like, you do some form of exercise, you have some form of strength and ability, so it lowers your chance. But also, when we talk about percentages, they're always really skewed. And this is also the problem with it. Like, percentages don't convey the actual impact that most people want it to convey. That, 100% better is, if you go from 1 to 2, is 100% better. It's not actually a very good standard, but it sounds amazing. And that might be wrong on the maths. I will foresay that maths is not my strong point. But it is one of these things where too much of our society and too much of our world has been reduced to the lowest possible level. And as I said, instead of trying to progress forward, what we're doing is just lowering the standard. And it's about not making people feel uncomfortable. And I think we see it in everything. It's why there's participation awards for everything. It's why, apparently they're not keeping score in some sports up until 12 years old. Because instead of teaching people that you have to, and children and adults, and apparently it's got to be adults as well, that success in life requires effort. It requires doing things that are uncomfortable. It requires you doing stuff that you don't necessarily want to do. Instead of teaching this, we're like, oh no, let's just make it gentler. Let's make it nicer. Let's make it easier for you. Let's lower the standard so that your poor, delicate feelings don't get hurt. No. Just no. You need to get out and you need to do shit that is difficult. You need to do things that require effort. You need to deliberately and consciously every single day choose stuff that make you uncomfortable, purely for the sake of it makes you uncomfortable. You need to push your limits and see what you are capable of. That's why, demanding greatness is working out every single day. It's going for a weighted walk every single day. And yeah, I've had people argue and they're like, well, what about rest and recovery days? And what about all this kind of stuff? One, I don't think any of you are training hard enough to warrant truly actually resting. No, you're not going to get rhabdo, which is the latest one of lowering the standard. If you work out too hard, you'll get rhabdo. No, marathon runners, like elite marathon runners who have pushed themselves to the absolute limit, they get rhabdo. And rhabdo, if you don't know, is when your body starts eating away your muscles. It's really, really rare. It's actually really, really difficult to do. It requires all-out effort, and I can near guarantee that your average person does not have the mental capacity to push themselves hard enough to actually reach that point. It takes iron will to override all those body signals to actually get into that point. But more than anything, working out every day and doing the weighted walk every day is about the mental game. It's about, A, working hard every day, which most people don't do, period, full stop. And B, to see how far you can take it when you don't want to do it, when you don't want a bar of it, when you aren't willing to push into those levels. It's to see what you have in those moments. There are many days where I don't want to work out. Today was one of them. I don't know what was up today. I wasn't in it. Didn't feel like doing it. Didn't want to push myself. I didn't want a bar of it. But that's what's getting done. It's not a question of how do I feel. It's not a question of my emotions or my feelings about the situation. It's purely, this is what is happening. And I've spoken before that I think discipline is freedom. A zero-choice mentality is freedom because it removes the thought process. It removes the opportunities for your feelings and emotions and, being a la-di-da fairy about the situation out of the equation. It's just, this is what's happening. Period, full stop, end of story. This is what is happening. So you don't need to ask the question of, what do I feel like doing today? Do I feel like doing this stuff? Oh, what do I want? No. This is what's happening. End of story. And to be honest, that's what being an adult is about. That's what being a man is about. That we do the work that is necessary. And I can promise you that so much of your life will get better the second you just accept this as reality. That you accept and embrace it. That you just need to do the work. This is when things get better. This is when things improve. This is how you reach for more in your life. That this is just part of who you are. That you just do these things. Rain, hail, or shine. Every single day. And again, it's why the weighted walk is outside. Because the conditions are never going to be perfect. It's going to rain some days. It's going to be scorching hot some days. It's going to be snowing some days. You're going to fuck it up. Damn it, I was trying not to swear. You're going to mess it up. And get to the end of the day and it be really late. And you know what? It has to be done. Why? Because you said it would. And this is when you learn about yourself. Because so much of what will dictate your life and the results and the success that you're going to get comes from choices and decisions that no one will ever see, that no one will ever know. They are just a battle between you and you. That they are just there for you. But you'll know. You'll know that you're a liar. You'll know that you didn't do the work. You'll know that you didn't follow through and do what is necessary. And that is the separator. And that is the one that will push you forward towards being the greatest version of yourself. Because you stepped up and did what was necessary, regardless of your feelings, regardless of what you wanted to do. You just did the work. And I think this is the greatest gift that you can give yourself. We discussed the other day that I was informed that working out 4 times a week is extreme discipline. No. I'm sorry, just no. That should be your bare minimum. That should be just is. Like, you're just being an adult and looking after your health and fitness. That's not even entering in the spectrum of discipline and extremeness. That is, as I said, being an adult and looking after your health and fitness. And these articles that keep going around that, we need to be gentle on ourselves and these are acceptable and that going for a casual stroll every day is just as good as going to the gym. It is not. It is not. Like so many of those things, and I'm sure I'll cop backlash for it, but things like yoga or Pilates or any of these other things that people want to tout as excellent options, they're accessories. They're not, the basis of your health and fitness. They are accessories. Yes, it is better than you sitting on the couch, but they are add-ons. You must lift weights. You must do an aerobic capacity output, aka weighted walks. You must do things like this just to be strong, fit, and healthy. You want to add in other things? Fantastic, but we must start with the things that are going to build the baseline for who you want to be. And you just got to accept that this is a part of life, that this is what we do, that we get this shit done, that we cannot keep softening it up. I got sent another article that says if you are deliberately going to the gym, and this blew my mind, that you are deliberately going to the gym because you don't want to be fat, you are fat phobic. I'm sorry, what now? Yeah, that's the whole point. That you shouldn't want to be fat. That you shouldn't want to be out of shape. That you should want to be strong, fit, and healthy. For every possible reason that shouldn't need to be stated. That it's good for your health, it's good for your heart, it's good for your life. It makes you more capable, it makes you harder to kill. All these kinds of things. You recover better from everything. All these things. That is literally the point of it. that we are here to be the best versions of ourselves, that we are here to demand greatness of ourselves, that we aren't here to accept this mediocrity that is trying to be forced upon us, that we keep lowering the standard of what is an acceptable level to be an existing adult. Never in human history, I don't think, has it been easier to stand head and shoulders above average. As I said, I'm now being told that working out 4 times a week for 45 minutes makes it extreme discipline. Mind-boggling stuff. Now is your opportunity, well, to be the greatest version of yourself. But if you're worried about, standing out from the pack, just doing anything, doing more than a casual stroll will separate you from the average pack. And I cannot fathom the levels that people keep wanting to lower the standards to. They keep wanting to force it to you. They keep wanting you to stay weak, soft, pathetic. And it's time to rise up. It's time to be an adult. It's time to be a man and do what is required, to do the work that is necessary, to give effort, and not just a little bit of effort, but serious effort, to push yourself, to make yourself uncomfortable, to see what you are capable of, to train your mind, your body, your spirit every single day, to rise up above this joke of a level of society and see who you can be. To get uncomfortable, not just once, not just occasionally, but daily and deliberately. Because I don't think you understand how much every aspect of your life will improve from you doing the work, from you just doing that, from you challenging yourself to get uncomfortable and do what is necessary, to not lay your head down at night until the work has been done. It'll change every aspect of your life. It'll change how people show up in your life, and change how people respond to you. As I said before, your body is a walking resume of your level of commitment, follow through, and consistency. It is not something that can be stolen, bought, cheated to. It requires you to continue doing the work. And it will change every aspect of your life if you are willing to do that. If you are willing to take that first step and stop succumbing to this weak society that they are pushing on us. It is time to step up. It is time to do what is necessary. And it's time to become, the man that you know you should be. So if you are ready for that, if you are ready to step forward and do what is required, well, you know where to find me. And together, let's change your life and help you demand greatness, become the greatest version of yourself. Until then.